All right, everybody, welcome. Doug McKay with the M48 update on the 26th of April 2010. Let's look at a daily chart of RIM, closed at 72.70 today on the 26th. If you had tight stops on this, or anybody that did, was taken out in both directions. But in any event, nice candle today, hammer style candle. Went down, tested support at 69, closed almost at the high for the day. The high for the day was actually 72.81. We closed at 72.70. Now, we're looking at this. It did fill the gap to the upside, broke back down. We thought it might continue to break down, so we stayed away from it. But the action on today's candle, along with the volume, we've got to step up and take a look at this, especially if we get a close above 73.50. So for right now, what we're doing is we're looking for a close above 73.50 on RIM to get long that position again. Now, when we look at this both on a weekly chart, you can see that, again, what we're doing is we're looking for a close above this candle. That weekly candle was 73.41, the high on that. We are above the 50-day moving average, to keep it simple. So we get above, again, 73.50. It looks like we're going to test 76 and maybe fill some of this space up top. Let's also take a look at gold. This, is kind of a day-by-day chart. We're looking at a weekly right now. We just left it on a weekly. So when we got above this level here is when we got back into GLD, or we added to it, I should say. Let's now look at it on a daily chart. There's a case to be made here that this could be kind of a some type of symmetrical triangle here off the previous move, which would be up. We did get above that, and then again on a daily chart, I think if we get above this candle here on a close, which is basically 113.30, GLD definitely looks good. Again, we may throw the gold miners back in the M48 as well. We can also take a look at silver. We mentioned this today. For as much as the buck has strengthened since mid-January, the metals have held up quite well. So silver looks very similar, where it looks like it could test and or break the previous highs going back the last several months. And then let's just take a look at the SPY. I would anticipate some profit taking this week because there's been so many weeks up in a row. But again, the trend line is still holding. If we were to extend this, the trend line is still holding. We are going to move up our stop on McDonald's. And we also want to look at taking profit on the SPY. Let's talk about that for a second. We did take some profit already on the Qs. Where would we take some profit on the SPYs? Well, we said if the SPYs got up above basically 120 and up to 125 before they tested 120, we would take some profit. But let's just say we don't break this trend line here, and let's extend this out a little bit, like so. And if we don't break this trend line here, we can move this down just a little bit. If we don't break this trend line to the downside anytime soon, and we get to, let's say, 125, we'll take half of our position off. If we don't break the trend line, half the position off on the SPY at 125. And I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll finish out with Qualcomm, and we'll talk about gaps. This was an aggressive trade that we put on to when the bottom kind of turned in here. It found a bottom based off of support. Let's take a look at this on a weekly basis. Maybe the picture will clear up a little bit better. There was support here. You can see this level here. Going back all the way to what would this be back in here? This would be in March, in February of 09. So what once was resistance became support. So we thought it might catch a bottom there, which it did on a daily basis. So we put this on as the aggressive trade I believe back in here, it gapped up. Then what we thought, I even put a still chart out about this. There's two gaps. There's the upside gap here, and then there was a downside gap here. We thought it would fill the downside gap. So what we did is we parked our stop just in this area, above our entry, just below the potential fill of this gap. Anyway, it filled the gap. We were stopped out just above entry, and now it's, you know, continued to break down. So we'll see where this is. But the purpose of this chart tonight was just to show you where gaps get filled and where to park the stop. You can either go this way to lock in more profit, or you can think that it's going to fill the gap and head up again and hide in this area. We chose to hide in this area primarily because it was above our stop. All right. Okay, guys, that's it. The trend is long for now. On the 26th of April, 2010, Doug McKay with the M48 update. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.